In a one-on-one interview with News 9, California Governor Gavin Newsom tried to make the case that President Joe Biden is moving past a debate performance that has taken his campaign sideways for the last 11 days.
They're riding the ship. You saw the rally in Wisconsin. You saw the work that he did this weekend. I just left Pennsylvania. I had 7 stops in Philadelphia. We're in Pittsburgh. I was all over Michigan. And they're doing everything they need to do to reach out directly to voters, to meet with people where they are. A lot of calls that have been leaked. For better or for worse, a lot of outreach, and I think they're doing exactly what they need to do.
But that hasn't stopped more top Democrats from calling on the president to step aside and give up the nomination.
What about those high-profile Democrats, some in Congress, who are saying he does have to be replaced at the top?
Yeah, it's just the overwhelming majority of Democrats that are not saying that. Overwhelming majority of Democrats that are not only saying they have his back, but are actually demonstrating that by supporting him, being out in the campaign trail. I've seen a bunch of them over the last few days, over the weekend, over a holiday weekend. They could have dialed it in, they could have stepped back, but they stepped up and they're continuing to fight. So we're seeing that. It's expected to see a few people expressing those doubts and perhaps even more publicly. But I think they're doing what they need to do to course correct.
As for the speculation over what might happen if Biden does stand down, Newsom isn't having it.
It's a legit question, but it's exactly the kind of question the Trump campaign wants us to have. They don't want us talking about Donald Trump, his record, his vision, his dystopian vision for this country to bring America back to the 19th century. And that's what I'm going to be focusing on, this contrast, daylight and darkness.
We also asked Governor Newsom about some of the insults that have been hurled his way by New Hampshire Governor Chris Sununu. Newsom telling us he has no idea where that's coming from. He says he met the governor once and he thought they had a good interaction. Reporting live in Hooksett, Adam Sexton, WMUR News 9.